Okay, the sections we'll be covering today will be 3-6 and 3-7. 3-6 is multiplying fractions. Actually, they're not fractions, it's a mixed number. Multiplying mixed numbers. And dividing using mixed numbers. So you're multiplying and you're dividing using mixed numbers. Okay, some of the skills that you have to learn earlier in this chapter were changing an improper fraction, like 9/7. You had to change the improper fraction into a mixed number. Okay, so you had to do that. Was 9 divided by 7 was 1, and then 2/7. Okay, that was one skill you had there. Okay, the skill that you're going to use first is changing the mixed number into the improper fraction now. You're going to have like 1 2/3. What would that be as an improper fraction? 3 times 1 is 3 plus 2. Okay. So when you're multiplying and dividing mixed numbers, the first thing you want to do is you want to turn them into improper fractions first. If you have like 1 2/3 times 2 and 5/6. Okay, don't do 1 times 2 and the fractions separately. When you're adding and subtracting, you do them separately. When you're multiplying and dividing, don't do that. When you're multiplying and dividing, turn it to improper. 1 2/3 is 5/3. And then turn this one into an improper. 6 times 2 is 12. Plus 5, you got 17/6. And once you turn it to improper, then you just do the regular multiplication rules, which would be top times top, bottom times bottom. If there's something you could divide, like if there was a number on top you could have divided evenly by 6 or 3 or 2, you could have done that first. But right here, there's no canceling that you can do. So do 5 times 17. 5 times 7 is 35. And then 5, 6, 7, 8. So 5 times 17 is 85. And then 6 times 3 is 18. Okay. So this would be your answer, but don't leave it improper. Okay. You have mixed number times mixed number. So you're going to end up with a mixed number, unless it was just, like 2/3. Okay, 85 divided by 18, you need to divide that. 18 is almost 20, so you're 20, 40, 60, 80 would be 4. Let's try 4. 4 times 8 is 32. 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, 72 is close enough, because if you do another one, it would be like 90. That'd be too big. So we'll do 4. 4 times 18 is 72. 5 minus 2 is 3. 8 minus 7 is 1. This number goes on top, and this number here goes on the bottom. So this would equal 4 and 13/18. Okay, we'll do another one like that. Let's say we have 3 2/3 times 1 and 1/6. 3 times 3 is 9, plus 2 is 11/3. 6 times 1, 6, plus 1 is 7/6. Okay, can we do any dividing first? No, you can't do side by side. Remember, the rules are top and a bottom. So there's nothing on top and bottom that you can cancel. So 11 times 7, 77. 3 times 6, 18 again. Okay, so we have 77 divided by 18. Remember 18 times 4 was 72. So we already have that one. 4 times 18 is 72. Subtract, and you have 5 left over. 5 goes on top, 18 goes on bottom. So make sure that you change the improper fraction into the mixed number. Okay. If you have 3 numbers that are multiplied, you're not going to have to do 11 or 12, but there's 3 of them. We'll do one like that anyway, so you know how to do it though. If you have, we'll do 11, and you can check in the back to see if we got the right answer. Okay, this is 20 and a half times 10 and 1/5 times 4 and 2/3. Okay, 2 times 20 is 40, plus 1 is 41. Leave the 2 down here. The 5 is going to be on the bottom, the 3 is going to be on the bottom. You know the bottom, your denominators stay the same. 5 times 10, 50, plus 1 is 51. 3 times 4, 12. 12 plus 2 is 14. Okay, now we look for something that will cancel. We can do any top and any bottom. Okay, so what do you see that will cancel here?
2.
Divide by 2. Divide by 2 is 7. Okay, nothing will divide by 5, will it? How about 3? Do you remember the divisibility rule for dividing by 3? You add the digits. 4 plus 1 is 5. 5 won't divide by 3. 5 plus 1 is 6. So 51 is going to divide by 3. So what is 51 divided by 3? Yeah. There's the 1 is 3, and then there's the 7. So divided by 3 is 1, divided by 3 is 7. Okay, it still won't divide by 5. If it didn't divide earlier, it still won't divide by 5 on top. So you still have the 5 on the bottom. And now you have these 3 numbers that have to be multiplied, which is not as bad as 41, 51, and 14. You do have 41 times 17. And what do you get when you do that? 41 times 17. Do you have it? No? 697. And then that has to be multiplied by 7. Huh? 4879. Okay. Then don't forget to turn that into a mixed number, which comes out when you divide this by 5. It comes out to a big number, 975, right? And then there's a remainder. 4879, let me see, 4879 divided by 5. You got 5 will go into 48, 9, 45. And then 5 into 37 is 7. 7 times 5 is 35. 29. 5 into 29 is 5. 5 times 5 is 25. So the remainder is 4. So you have 4/5. And if you look in the back, that answer's right. But you won't have any this hard on your homework. You'll just have to be doing 2 of them. Okay, dividing. Same rules as dividing. You have to flip the second one over. Don't do that until you get them in proper, okay? Let's put some problems. We have, say we have 20 divided by 1 1/4. Okay, turn them both into fractions, into proper or whatever. This is not a fraction yet, we'll put it over 1. 20 over 1. Still leave the divide till you're ready to flip it. You're not ready to flip it yet. Leave the 4 on bottom. 4 times 1 is 4 plus 1 is 5. Okay, now that we have that both of them improper or whatever, they're both fractions now, now we change it to multiplication and flip the second one over. Leave this 20 over 1, 4 on top, 5 on bottom. Okay, you can multiply straight across to get 80 over 5, or we can divide by 5, right? Divide by 5, divide by 5. So you have 4 times 4 is 16. Over 1, which is still just 16. Okay? What if we have a whole number on the second part? Let's say we have 7 and 5/8 divided by 3. Okay, 7 and 5/8, change that to improper. 8 times 7, 56, plus 5, 61. Okay, go ahead and put the 1 under the 3 on your original part, on the problem. And now we're going to flip it. See, 3 is the same as 3 over 1. So multiply, flip it over is 1/3. You're multiplying by the reciprocal. Everybody get that? Yeah? Okay, 61, I don't even think that'll divide. I think it's a prime number. It sure won't divide by 3 or 8. Okay, so we have 61 times 1 is 61. 8 times 3? 24. 24. Don't forget to change it into a mixed number. 24 is almost 25, so 2 would be 50, 3 would be 75. We want to go with times 2. 2 times 4, 8. 2 times 2 is 4. Subtract it. 11 minus 8, 3. 5 minus 4 is 1. So we got 2 and 13, 24ths. Okay, so make sure you turn them both to fractions before you flip, okay? On the word problems, number 27, if you do the exact answer, it's not going to match the back of the book, okay? On number 27, if you get the exact answer, you get like 691 point something. You look in the back of the book, it says about 690,000. Don't think you got it wrong just because you did the exact answer, okay? On the answer sheets, I'm going to have the exact and the same thing it says in the back, about 690. So don't freak out on number 27 if you don't get exactly what it says in the back. Okay, there's one that, number 49 and 50, that's some that people normally have troubles on. I'm going to make one like 49, and it should help you to do 49 and 50, okay? Okay. Let's say that the sides of this were 2 1/5, and this is 2 1/5. Okay, that's kind of like what it says, but this says 1/2 times the S. This said this side, okay? This side is that, this side is that. Okay, this says it's 1/2 times that side, and this one says it's 1/2 times the side. Okay, first of all, what we need to do is we need to make these into numbers we can multiply, because it's wanting to know what is the area of this right here. to find the area of this, we're going to find the area of the whole square, and then we're going to subtract the area of the part that's not shaded right here. So we're going to find the area of the whole big thing, the whole big square. We're going to have the area of the big square minus the area of the little square. What's the area of a square? What do you do to find the area of a square? Yeah. Base times height, length times width, side times side. Since this is a square, it's side times side, so we're going to do the side times side to get the area of the big one. So we need to turn these into improper numbers first. 5 times 2 is 10, plus 1 is 11. So the sides are 11/5. The big square on this would be 11/5 times 11/5. And that doesn't have any canceling, so it's 121 over 25. Okay? Now to do the little square, it's still going to be side times side. This side times this side for the little square. But that side is 1/2 of 11/5. We need to times 1/2 times that. So this is, let me see, we should do it right here. 1/2 times 11/5. So it's 11 over 10, right? 1 times 11 is 11, 2 times 5 is 10. So both of these sides will be 11/10. 11/10 times 11/10. Okay, the top number stayed the same, 121. 11 times 11 is 121. 10 times 10 is 100. Okay, what are we going to do with these numbers? We're going to subtract it, right? We're going to do the big one minus the small one. So we have this minus this. When you're subtracting fractions, what do you need? Common denominator. The common denominator on this is 100. When you're doing the number 49, the common denominator is still going to be what? The small triangle has, okay? Okay, 100, this stayed the same, so the top will stay the same. We'll leave the subtraction sign so we'll know what to do with it. 25, to get to 100, we had to multiply by 4, right? Times 4, so multiply the top times 4. 121 times 4 is 484. Now we're going to subtract 484 minus 121. 4 minus 1 is 3. 8 minus 2 is 6. 4 minus 1 is 3. And our common denominator was 100. So that's the area, but you still need to make it into a mixed number. 100 into 363 goes 3 times, right? And there's 63 left over. And make sure you can't reduce this part. And this one in the book was in inches. We'll go ahead and put inches next to this. If these were inches, this is how many square inches the area would be. Because it's inches times inches. So that's how you're going to do number 49 and 50. You're going to do the big area, the big rectangle or big square, and subtract the area of the little one. Okay? Okay, now we're going to go to 3.7, order of operations and estimating. Order of operations, what is the words for that?
Please excuse me, dear, sorry.
Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. And how do you do multiply and divide?
Left to right.
Multiply, divide, go left to right, and the same for add and subtract, right? Left to right. Key parentheses, E is exponents and square roots. Okay, so let's do some problems with order of operations. And of course, it's going to have fractions in there because we're doing a chapter on fractions. Okay, let's pick a hard one. You want to start easy and then go hard, or just, yeah? Let's start easy and go hard. Let's go with number 8. Number 8 has 7/10 times 4/5 and then divided by 2/3. Okay, there's no parentheses, no exponents, square roots. So multiplying and dividing, we're going to do left to right. Okay, for multiplying and dividing, we're going to do this one first. Are we going to get a common denominator here? No. Not if you're not adding and subtracting. Multiply and divide, it's fine like it is. So we're doing this part first. Yeah, we can cancel here, the 4 and 10, right? Divide by 2 is 2, divide by 2 is 5. So you have 7 times 2 is 14, 5 times 5, 25. Okay, you're going to divide by 2/3, so you need to flip that one over. 14 over 25 times 3 on top, 2 on bottom. Is there anything we can cancel there?
Yes, for 2 and 14.
Divide by 2. There you go.
21 over 25.
Yeah. 21 over 25. Will that reduce? No, because we did all our dividing, it won't. It's not improper either, so it's okay like it is. Okay, now let's do some where we have to kind of use the order of operations. Let's do number 10. So it should be kind of like number 9. Number 10, 3/4 is squared plus 3 1/2 divided by 1 1/4. Okay, parentheses. Okay, inside the parentheses here, there's not really anything to do as far as like the parentheses part. There's not like an addition or multiplication. So we go to the next thing, it says exponents and square roots. We need to do this exponent. Okay, the exponent is squaring, so that means times itself. Put 3/4 times 3/4. Then go ahead and write the rest of it so you don't forget to do it. What could we should go ahead and change that into improper, right? Because we're going to be dividing next. Let's go ahead and do the next step of getting that into improper. We're going to say plus the 2's on bottom. 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1 is 7. Divided by 4 times 1 is 4, plus 1 is 5/4. Okay. This multiplication we're going to do 3/4 times 3/4. 3 times 3, and then 4 times 4. Plus 7/2. We're dividing by 5/4. We're not going to be doing any adding before dividing either, are we? Remember, do your multiply, divide before add, subtract. So we're going to rewrite this so we can divide it because we're going to be doing our division next. So change the dividing by 5/4 into times 4/5. Now we're going to do this multiplication. Is there any canceling?
2 and 4.
The 2? Divide by 2, divide by 2. And that's all we could do right there. Leave the 9/16 where it is. Plus 7 times 2 1 times 5, 5. Okay, you can leave that improper to do the addition if you want, or you could change it into mixed numbers. It doesn't matter which way you want to do it. The 9/16 plus 14/5, what do we have to do before we combine them up? We need a common denominator. You have 9/16 and 14/5. We need a common denominator. So 16 and 5, you're going to have to do 16 times 5. 5 times 6 is 30, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's going to be 80. Will be our common denominator. This will be times 16, and this will be times 5. Okay. This might have actually been easier to change this into a mixed number. It would have, right? Let's change this to a mixed number real quick. 14/5 goes 2 times and 4/5. So let's put this as 2 and 4/5. That'll be easier for you. 4 times 16 is a lot easier than 14 times 16. 4 times 16 is 64. Okay, we have that. 9 times 5 is 45. Okay, 2 plus nothing is just 2. Cross that out. 45 plus 64. 5 plus 4 is 9. 4 plus 6 is 10. And we have our 80 on the bottom. 80 will go into 109 one time. So you have 2 plus, this would be 1. After it goes one time, how many's left over? 29. So you have 2 plus 1 and 29 over 80. Comes out to 3 and 29 80ths. And that will not reduce. Number 10 in my book, it says it could either be 269 80ths or this answer that we got right there. Okay, let's do a more complicated one now. Number 15 or 16? We'll do 15 so you can see in the back of the book what the right answer should be. Number 15 out of the book is 1/2 plus 1/3 squared times 144 minus 5/8 divided by 10 and 1/2. Okay, the first thing, parentheses, right? First thing you gotta do is parentheses. So inside the parentheses, we need to add 1/2 plus 1/3. Before you add, what do you need? Common denominator, right? 3 and 2, what's our common denominator? 6. Okay. 3 times 2 is 6, right? You need to times 2 on the top and bottom. 1 times 2 is 2. 1/2, we need to do 2 times 3 to get 6, so do the top times 3. So we have the 3/6. Okay, let's rewrite the rest of the problem to make sure we don't forget any of it. Don't want to leave any behind. Okay, 3/6 plus 2/6. 3 plus 2 is 5. So you have 5/6, which is going to be squared, right? 5/6 squared means times itself. Instead of putting the squared up here, would it be okay just go ahead and write it times itself? Everybody will follow that if you see that the squared would be times itself. Okay, so we'll put 5/6 times 5/6, and that'll save us one line of writing there. Rewrite everything. Okay, now we're going to do this multiplication. 5, 6 times 5, 6 is 25 on top, 36 on bottom. When we put the times 144 next to it, make it where you put over 1, okay? The 144 is going to be multiplied, so you need to have it over 1. Then put your minus 5/8 divided. We're going to end up dividing by this eventually, so let's turn it into an improper number. Leave the 2 on the bottom. 2 times 10 is 20 plus 1. 21's on top now. Okay, we're doing our multiplying and dividing. So the first thing we're going to do is this multiplication, right? Multiply and divide from left to right. Do this one first. Will the 36 and 144 divide by the same number? How about 12? 36 divided by 12 is 3. 144 divided by 12 is 12. That actually would have divided by 36 because you can still make this into 1. You can divide by 3. Divide by 3 is 1. Divide by 3 is 4. 12 divided by 3 is 4. Okay, so now we have 25 times 4 is 100 over 1. 100 over 1, we could leave it, right? Leave it as 100. Minus 5/8. When you divide by something, we need to multiply by the reciprocal. Multiply, flip it over. 2 on top, 21 on bottom. So what are we going to do next? 100 minus 5/8?
We got to do our times.
Got to still have to multiply before we do any adding and subtracting. Okay, so we're going to do 5/8 times 2 over 21. What can we divide?
2 and 8.
Right, the 2 and 8 we could divide by 2. 5 times 1, 5. 4 times 21,
84.
84. So this is going to come right there. 5 over 84. Put our minus and our 100 in front. Okay, off to the side, we're going to be doing 100 minus 5 over 84. I put the fraction off to the side because we're going to have to subtract it from something. 100 minus 5 over 84. Okay, to subtract, what do we need? Are we just going to have 584 right here? No. We need to borrow, right? Are we going to put like 5 over 5?
84.
Right, 84 over 84. We need a common denominator. So now we have 84 84s minus 5 84s. 84 minus 5? 79 84s. And then we have 99 minus nothing is 99. That's your answer. Or if you didn't want to borrow, you could have turned this, you could have done it this way. 100 minus 5 84s. You could have turned them both into 84s. This is 100 over 1. It would have been huge. It would have been 8400 over 84 minus 5 84s. I like this way best, but you could have just turned this into a big improper fraction. Yeah. That would have been 8495 over 84, which was one of the choices of answers. Not the best choice, but it was a choice. Okay, it also wants you to know how to find the average. You know how to average your grades, right? You add them up and then by
How many
by how many, right? You're going to do the same thing with fractions. If you're averaging, If you see the word average, you know you're going to add them up and then divide by how many? Right? By the number of numbers there were. So if we're averaging like 2/3 and 7/8, the average of those, first thing we've got to do is we're going to add them up, right? So we're going to add these numbers to average them. I should have wrote them up and down, huh? Should have wrote them 2/3 plus 7/8 because we need common denominator. 8 and 3, the common denominator?
24.
24, which is 8 times 3. So times 3 where the 8 is, and times 8 where the 3 is. 7 times 3 is 21, 2 times 8 is 16. So you have 16 24s plus 21 24s. We're adding. 6 plus 1 is 7, 1 plus 2 is 3. So we have 37 over 24. We could turn that to a mixed number, but I want you to think for a second. What do we have to do next?
Divide.
We're dividing by how many numbers there are. When you divide, you want to go ahead and leave it like this because you'll end up having to turn it back. So these added up to 37 over 24. We need to divide by how many numbers? There was 2 numbers that we're doing getting the average of. So we have to divide by 2. Dividing by a fraction, you need to go ahead and make that 2 over 1 because you're going to be flipping it over. Leave the 37 over 24. We're going to multiply by what?
1/2.
1/2. Nothing that we can divide there. Can't divide those by 2. So we have 37 times 1 is 37. 24 times 2.
48.
48. And that will not reduce or simplify in any way, and it's not improper anymore, so that's going to be the average of these 2 numbers. So make sure you remember to add and divide. There's 3 numbers, you'll divide by 3 and then multiply it by a third, right? It'd be the same thing as multiplying by a third. So let's do one with 3 numbers real quick. The 3 numbers 4/5, 1/2, and 1/10. The average. Okay, I'm going to write them up and down so we get our common denominator. 4/5, 1/2, and 1/10. Common denominator is
10.
10. 10, 10, 10. This stays the same, still a 1 on top. 2 is times 5. 5 is going to be times 2. 2 times 5 is 10. 1 times 5 is 5. 5 times 2 is 10. 4 times 2 is 8. We're adding these up, right? The denominator is 10. We have 8 plus 5, 13, plus 1 is 14. Remember, we're not going to simplify that yet. 14 tenths, we're going to divide that by how many numbers? Was 3. Divide by 3 over 1 means we're going to multiply by the reciprocal, 1/3. Nothing that we can cancel there. So we'll do 14 times 1 is 14. 10 times 3? 30. Okay. Does that make sense that this isn't going to be over 1? You've got fractions that are not over 1, so your average better not end up being over 1, right? Because the average of the numbers should be close to those numbers, which 14 is almost half of 30, so this is almost a half. It averaged out to about a half. So this is really big, this is really small, but they all averaged out to be around half. Okay, now we need to do some estimating. Okay, the problems that you're gonna be doing work on, it's gonna want you to estimate it to the nearest 1/2. So you want to write whether the estimate will be 0, 1/2, or 1. So it's gonna give you a fraction and it wants you to estimate whether it's closer to 0, 1/2, or 1. If your fraction is like 5/12, look at your denominator. The 12, what is 1/2 of 12?
6.
1/2 of 12 is 6. This is close to that, right?
Yep.
So this is going to estimate to be 1/2. As long as the top number is close to 1/2 of the bottom. A little above or a little below. Okay? If you have a problem like 8/9, 8 is almost all of it, right? Almost all of it, so this will estimate to 1. How about 6/11? Half. Half of this is 5 1/2. This is a little over. It's not a lot over. It's not close to 11. It's about half. How about 1/5? Yeah. 1/2 of 5 is 2 1/2. That's not even close. It's almost nothing. So this rounds to 0. Okay? How about 2/100? 0. Not even close to 1/2 of it. Okay. How about if you have a mixed number? By using these estimates of 0, 1/2, or 1, let's do a mixed number like 2 and 3/5. The 1/2 of 5 was 2 1/2, right? So 3 is just a little over. So this is close to 1/2 right here. So this would estimate to be 2 1/2. Leave the whole number in front, and then you're just doing the second part. If you had 2 and 4/5, this is almost all of it. So this would round to 1. So right, you would add it to the 2 and it would be 3. Okay, if you were adding, like you had 5/6 plus 8/9. Okay, estimate it first. 5/6 is almost 1, right? 8/9, almost 1. So estimating this, you would just go 2. You don't have to do common denominator, add it up, and then estimate it. Estimate it first, and then just add the estimations. Way easier. How about if we have 1/50 times 8/9? Okay, you don't want to find a common denominator. You don't want to multiply all those numbers either. What we want to do is estimate first. 1/50 estimates to 0. Does it matter what someone estimates to? No. 0 times anything is going to be 0. This would actually estimate to 1, but it doesn't matter. That answer would have estimated to be 0. Okay, so don't forget on this page 204, the second part of 3.7, you're still estimating. On number 45, 49, don't find the exact value, okay? You don't have to do common denominator. You're just estimating, then adding up your estimates. So that's going to be easier. Is there any questions?